The White House denying reports that Joe Biden will be discussing the future of his campaign when he gathers with his family at Camp David today.
Yeah, they say they're just taking a family photo. But NBC News is quoting a source familiar with the discussions, and they say, quote, they believe only the president, in consultation with his family, can decide whether to move forward or to end his campaign early. The decision makers are two people, and it's the president and his wife, and NBC thinks that's what they're doing this weekend.
Biden officials are firing back. The premise of the story is not accurate. The president's trip to Camp David was public in our guidance before the debate. It's been on the schedule for weeks. There's nothing more to it. Washington Examiner editor Kaylee McGhee White joins us now. Kaylee, good morning to you. What do you make of this report? Do you think there are discussions? Do you think they're having a conversation about the future of the campaign?
I do, but I'm sure the conversation is how to continue to hide Biden's state of degeneracy, and certainly not whether he should drop out. Jill Biden has made it very clear over the past few days, in fact, that her husband has no intention of dropping out. And listen, I'm in rural Ohio in the middle of nowhere this weekend for a wedding. And the topic on everyone's mind, besides how great the bride and groom were how horribly Joe Biden did last Thursday night. So this is not a topic that's going away. This is not an image that people are going to be able to erase from their minds. Everyone saw his state last Thursday. And it is the very first thing that people are going to think about when they think about his candidacy. So Biden doesn't need to really be worried about what the leftist pundits are saying, what the Hollywood A-listers are saying, or what his donors are saying. He needs to be worried about what the voters are saying, because they are going to be the ones who ultimately decide this for him. And right now, they are extremely concerned about what they saw last week.
Kaylee, I have been saying for a long time, even when he was, in the basement campaigning during the last election in 2020, I came out in 2021 and said that, this was not right, that Jill Biden was a bad wife for allowing her husband to continue, and that she was also doing a disservice to the country. Her press secretary sent out a press release saying that I was a bad person for saying that. And yet here we are. Now everybody knows what happened, and his condition, which, as Will pointed out earlier, has deteriorated just since February. How long can they keep this charade up? I mean, at this point, everything's been exposed, and not just Biden and his condition, but the enabling of the media and everybody around him, including the Obamas, this cabal that's apparently running the country.
And this is an important point, too, because you're hearing a lot of feedback right now from the leftist media, CNN, MSNBC, who are distraught over Biden's state because they now know that there's a very real chance that he loses the November election. But to be clear, they're not mad that Biden is running again in this state. They're mad that everyone has seen his state for themselves, finally out in the open. So they have been complicit in this, in trying to hide this. And many of us here on the conservative side of the news network have been sounding the alarm over this, and yet we're the ones who have been accurately representing the people's concerns about this. I'm a Gen Z voter. As of last year, a New York Times poll found that 85% of voters my age did not think that Biden was mentally fit to run again. This is a concern that they've had since really he first took office. And yet now, for the first time, everyone else is starting to express those same concerns. And we've got to be asking ourselves why.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah, they hid it from us. And as you said, they were exposed. Kaylee McGhee White, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the wedding. Say hi to the bride and groom from us.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.